Evening all, the Primemutton here again. I'm still in Lahore and we haven't even come close to getting through all that Lahore has to offer street food wise. So join me tonight on another street food tour of Lahore. I'm being guided and I've no idea what I'm going to have, but I'm going to share it all with you, the viewers. So we're going to start off in the Shalamar Gardens area, and if you're wondering why I've got this face paint on, it's because earlier in the day I went to the Wagah flag lowering ceremony on the India-Pakistan border, so I've yet to get rid of that, and we started off the evening by stopping for a little snack, and I believe we're going to have pani puri. Wondering why it's called Shalamar Gardens. If you can see over that massive freeway and traffic and everything, there are actually some rather pretty gardens over there. Anyway, back to the food. And as you can see, there's a huge vat of boiling oil. Now, this is called Laddu Kichiwala. I'm going to have to write that down in the subtitles for you. I've never had it before. I've never heard of it before. But it's just come fresh from that oil. And also available here are pani puris. Pani puri are the little round wafers which are usually filled with some sort of chutney or some tamarind sauce or yogurt, or sometimes chickpeas or sand. Pani puri is quite a famous snack on both sides of the border. I've had that a few times, but I'm really looking forward to trying these here, whose name I've forgotten. This snack is made from beans, so once those beans have hit that hot oil, we have the end product. I don't know how that's served, but as most South Asian carbohydrates are served, probably with some yogurt and chutney. Bean paste has arrived, and as you can see, he's moulding them into little patties which are going into the hot oil. And I know a lot of you are a bit squeamish about eating street food, but what I would say is if you can see it being made freshly in front of you, as in cooked at a high temperature in front of you, it's likely to be safe. Whether the chutneys are safe or not, of course, is another matter. And if you look closely, all of these patties have jeera seeds on top of them, just to give them that little bit of zing. After a while, he starts flipping them over so they're cooked through on the other side. So now they're being flipped round again, so the side with the cumin seeds is back on the top of the oil again. So just to give you an idea of turnover, that big stack of Laddu Kichiwala and basically almost sold out, so he's just done another fresh batch. And here comes more. And if you're trying to judge the hygiene and freshness of the food at a street food stall, I would say that turnover is one of the biggest factors you should be looking for. So there we go, one Laddu Kichiwala. So I'm going to have to go easy on, I think they're grated or shredded radishes, and of course the chutneys might have some dodgy water in them, who knows, but I'll consume the radish and chutney sparingly. Anyway, here we are, a close-up. So that is basically like a deep fried corn cake, but the cumin really does make all the difference. Lovely way to whet my appetite for the evening. I'm going to polish it off, and then we'll move on to wherever the next place might be. Okay, we haven't actually moved on to the next place just yet. A little bonus dish has arrived. So I think that's filled with chickpeas, potato and yoghurt and a bit of that sweet tomato chutney. Now on the side we have a couple of jugs of liquid, and I'm not exactly sure what they are. I think it's some sort of rose water. So Safdar is pouring out the water. Now this is a water with sugar, ginger, black pepper and cumin, and that is sweet rose water. I've made the usual inquiries, and it's apparently from filtered water, and they showed me their operation, so I'll give it a go. However, I won't have the rose water because that would make it too sickly sweet, given that there is already a sweet chutney inside the pani puri. So apparently the way to eat these is to pour your choice of water into the bowl, pick up the pani puri and give it a scoop all the way. Okay, I've been told all the way with LBJ. Burnt chickpeas, a bit of potato, the crispness of the wafer, and on top of that you have some sweetness, you have some sourness, and you've got the spice from the cumin. I'll watch how Safdar does his. That's the professional way of doing it, whereas mine is just dripping all over the place. So that was pani puri, one of the most popular snacks in South Asia, in India and Pakistan. Those were two pretty tasty snacks. We are definitely now moving on to the next place. And I must add, the owner was such a nice chap. He wouldn't accept payment from us. Lovely food and lovely hospitality. Anyway, on we go. So Muttonistas, for the next stop we are back in the old town of Lahore, and tonight we're going to try another item of street food that I've been wanting to try for quite a long time. I've seen it on British Indian menus, ordered it and not felt it's been radically different to anything else I've had, but I believe I'm going to get the real deal here. We're going to have chicken Tawa. Do you feel like chicken tonight? So chicken Tawa is so called because, again, of the plate that it's actually cooked on. This big, flat iron skillet. Now, the chicken is marinated, and it takes quite a while to marinate it in a number of herbs and spices. You know, the usual things like garam masala, salt, chili, cumin, black pepper. The chicken is covered in yogurt, allowed to stand, and then ghee is added, and copious amounts of green chili, and the resulting paste or gravy is cooked until it reaches a very, very dry state. And from what I can see, we seem to be exclusively dealing with chicken legs here. Okay, here are the chicken and chilies at a stage before the yogurt and the ghee is added. As I said, in the tower on the left, all of the meat was chicken leg. Here, in the middle, it's all chicken breast. I actually hope we go for leg. And down at the other end, they're making something completely different. I believe it's bean and egg tiki. So little spicy patties made out of bean and egg. And unless those are the world's mildest chilies, we're in for a bit of a spicy one tonight. So the stall has a seating area behind it. We're comfortably sat inside there, and the food has actually arrived pretty quickly. So without further ado, down to the table. We have the Tawa chicken. So glad to see that we've gone for the legs. They've brought some salad as well. I might extract the lemons from that. We have some keema. Would that be beef keema? Keema. Beef or mutton? Beef or mutton? Beef. So we have beef keema, minced beef, with a few chilies in it, and I suspect that'll be reasonably spicy. And there we have the anda dal tiki, the egg and beans fried on the tawa. And to mop that up, we have some Tawa roti. Roti is usually a wholemeal bread, served pretty thin, a bit like a chapati. So this is another dive in with hands job, so it's going to be another one-handed struggle. So I'll just try a little piece of each dish and describe it to you, because otherwise I'm going to be here all night. Okay, first, the andadal tiki. Wow, that's got a bit of a kick to it. I can't taste the egg so much, maybe it just binds everything together. But the beans have been basically ground into quite a thick paste. It's absolutely delicious. I'd say the closest thing to it would be Mexican-style refried beans, but with a lot of spices added and possibly cooked and ground down somewhat more than refried beans. Now, the keema. Keema is something that you'll see offered in a lot of UK restaurants, usually minced lamb rather than beef, but beef seems to be the meat of choice here for keema, so we will give that a go. And it goes without saying that that's been fried in ghee on the tower as well. This is going to be a spicy night. I'd better grab a bit of water. Okay, that was so good, I'm going to have another go. Just to confirm for you all how spicy it actually is. Although I know some of you would suggest that I just man up and try this without the yoghurt. Yep, that's spicy. Not just from the chilli, but because of all the other spices they've used here. And to be honest, the spices are what make the difference over here. We can all obviously tell that if we sit in a restaurant in Europe, the meat is going to be of a better quality, and the fish and the vegetables. However, the spices won't be. And I would hasten to add that I actually think beef maybe makes better keema than lamb. Now, maybe I've got it wrong, and in the UK, when you see keema on the menu, you are getting beef. I don't know, I've always thought it was lamb, but if any of you know, please leave a comment in the comments section. Again, succulent, finely ground mince, drowned in spices and ghee and fresh chilies. Wow. So far, that's probably the hottest thing I've had in Pakistan. But, on to the main event, the chicken. And I have to say, this looks spicy from here without having even tasted it. But adding a squeeze of lemon does seem to be the done thing around here with the Tawa chicken. Well, this looks difficult for me to eat. I mean, it looks nigh on impossible with one hand. I think this bit maybe, yeah, falls away from the bone a little bit, so let's get stuck into this large chunk. Yep, that's another spicy one. I think I got more spice from the keema because the keema probably infuses the spices more than the chicken because it's a more finely ground piece of meat. However, this is spicy as well, and the other flavours I'm tasting, it's peppery, it's yogurty, and it's basically infused 10 or 20 extra spices that they've added to the dish. There'll be garam masala in there, black pepper, ginger, chilli, garlic, the whole lot. One huge melange of spicy flavours. And it definitely benefits from a squeeze of lemon, and it's reasonably moist as well, which is something, as many of you who watch my videos regularly know, is a bee I have in my rather large bonnet. Again, this place had pretty big crowds outside. A lot of people buying takeaways actually. The dining room was pretty full until we came in for some reason. Anyway, this is so hard to eat that I'm going to have to put the camera down and come back to you when I finish because I need both hands. So all in all, we've done a great job there. Very, very little left on the table. Chicken gone, just a little bit of keema left and a little bit of the bean tiki. So in terms of the spice, the keema definitely won. But I'd say in terms of the flavour, the chicken tawa. Think of it in terms of it being a piece of tandoori chicken or chicken tikka, marinated in a similar fashion, but rather than being barbecued or put into a clay oven, dry fried on the tawa with chilies and ghee. And moreover, tawa chicken is 100% a Lahore speciality. And I believe the keema is as well. I'm not too sure about the bean and egg tiki, but I'll check for you. And yes, before you all ask, I didn't wimp out, I manned up and I didn't take the yoghurt. Exhibit 1, my lord. That was probably, of all the places I've eaten in Pakistan so far, my favourite. Wow, I loved that. So spicy, so flavoursome and so juicy. Anyway, in case you're wondering, I do leave a small tip at these restaurants. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. The meals are not expensive and the service has been outstanding, so it doesn't cost me anything to do that. So folks, a little something sweet to finish part 1 of this vlog off. And we have now come to a place called Chaman Dairy Ice Cream. These ought to be good because the country does seem to specialise in dairy products amongst other things. Okay, so I ordered a pistachio ice cream, but what's come in front of me surprises me a little bit, to say the least. Okay, that's what you call a pistachio ice cream. We've got fruit, nuts, a bit of chocolate, glacé, cherry, and some sort of syrup on top of it. Given the sterling effort I've put in today, I'll only be having a few mouthfuls of this. But what I am keen to see is whether the ice cream matches up to the quality of other dairy produce I've tried in Lahore and Pakistan, which has so far been pretty good. Okay, I've made a mess of the table. I couldn't scoop it out cleanly. Yeah, that's pretty good, that is. The colour looks a little bit artificial, to be honest, and they'd probably put something in, but the basic taste and flavour of the ice cream is good. It's creamy and it tastes of pistachio. Not sure the other bits all around it are strictly necessary, but I'll have a few scoops of this to settle the turbulence in my stomach, and we're going to roll this vlog on until tomorrow. So rather than bloating myself and eating ridiculous amounts, we'll move on to the next place tomorrow.